Ladies, gents, and gender bents, welcome to Ducky Productions. I told you I had a good idea.
That might need to be our permanent one.
Okay. As I said, ladies, gents, and gender bents, welcome to Ducky Productions. I'm Avery.
I'm Nathan.
And today we're going to be discussing The Elder Scrolls.
Because we wanted an easy one.
We're recording 2 videos in one day today, so one of them had to be something easy to talk about.
All right, so we're basically just going to go through the mainline games in order of release and chit-chat about our random thoughts on them.
Now, I would like to preface this whole conversation with the fact that I am the true Elder Scrolls fan here, because I played it before Nathan did.
Exactly. So, I'm a scrub.
True scrub.
I've played every single Elder Scrolls game, and I've beaten all of the mainline games and played through 100% of the single player and a lot of the multiplayer content on Elder Scrolls Online, and I've also dabbled in Redguard and Battlespire, but
I played Morrowind first on an original Xbox,
so I really got nothing.
You don't got nothing on me. Also, I'm pretty sure I've bought Skyrim more times than you. So
it's possible.
Yeah. So
except PS3 again, PC again.
Oh, maybe not.
Oh no, but you bought it on Switch. And you bought the special edition for PlayStation 4.
And I owned it on Xbox. So I bought it 3 times. Close.
Beating you out. Well, anyway. The first release of the Elder Scrolls and the last, the most recent original series that Bethesda ever made.
That they've... Wait, that's not true.
They're
currently working on Starfield.
They're currently working on... Yes. It is the last time that they released an original IP.
So the most recent
and
original...
the first time.
The first Elder Scrolls game and the most recent release of an original IP by Bethesda...
is Elder Scrolls Arena. I'm wondering... 1, if anybody's watching this, but 2, how many people who are watching this knew that this is what the cover looked like for the first...
Okay, here's the only redeeming quality about Arena, and it's this. And this box art is, like, not the best in the world, but it's hilarious. Look at this lady. What kind of armor is that? Who wears that? What is that going to protect? Just her neep-nops. That's it.
Oh, man. Just look at the back of this box. It's just so... look at how fantastic that looks. That doesn't really give you any kind of a good representation of what it's actually like to play this game.
No.
No.
Or to watch.
I think it's actually more painful to watch than it is to play.
Probably.
I guess. Yeah, it's... If you didn't already know, basically the combat in the game is if you want to swing your sword... Then you click down on the mouse button like you would in any Elder Scrolls game. And then you have to swing the mouse back and forth to swing your sword.
Do you know how annoying it was to watch you play this game and all I hear is just you furiously swiping your mouse back and forth? And that's when you were still using a mouse like with... the cord. You weren't using a wireless,
like
just
all over the
place. It was absolutely obnoxious. Just so y'all know.
Oh my god! I think the bow. I might be wrong here. I think the bows work the same way. So if you want to shoot a bow, you.
What sense does that make? Like, why? Why did they think that was a good idea? Why did they think that would be engaging or intuitive or anything?
It's like you're in the game.
Wow. I'm really swinging my sword.
Yeah, it's an incredibly obtuse piece of garbage. But honestly, I like it a lot. I've beaten it twice.
I'm glad one of us does.
Yeah, and that second time was not out of obligation. I was like, you know what?
I'm going to play Arena again.
I want to play some Arena. I actually liked it enough to pick it up again, which is...
But when you told me you were gonna play it again, I was legitimately like,
Are you okay?
why though? Like, I can understand wanting to go back and play a game from a series that you're really into, play one of the older ones that you've never played before. But you beat it once. Why torture yourself more? Apparently you like it, but that's fucked up. So.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
It looks like butt.
Oh my god. Yeah, it is.
Bad.
It's a nightmare. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, if you do decide to play it, the game is incredibly realistic. So, when you're walking through the city and trying to talk to somebody and everybody's running away from you as fast as they possibly can, it's because you have your sword drawn. You have to put your sword away, otherwise people run away from you in terror. Just put your sword away, and then people will be willing to talk to you.
Is this one where your armor matters at all? Like, will people comment on your armor?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't think they did that until like Oblivion.
Even like, can't you in Oblivion though just wander around in Dark Brotherhood clothes and no one cares?
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
God, I cannot remember if Daggerfall actually cares about what armor you're wearing.
Daggerfall.
The second one.
We're talking about Arena.
I know we're talking about Arena. Definitely not in Arena. No,
Okay.
absolutely not. I can't remember if it's in any of the games, but it's only in like Oblivion and Skyrim where they comment if you're like walking around naked or something.
Nicky.
Yeah, so that's Arena. I guarantee you won't like it.
The music's bad too.
Yes, the music is horrible. I actually usually turn the music all the way down and then just play like the Oblivion soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have not already played it, I guarantee you won't like it.
Here's the consensus on this game. It's bad.
And I like it for some reason.
Yeah. We all are into some kind of trash.
Mm-hmm.
So, onward.
The next game in the Elder Scrolls series, one of the...
I'm getting war flashbacks.
biggest, most expansive, most detailed games ever to exist. The No Man's Sky of its day, in the way that it didn't really work. The Elder Scrolls Chapter 2 Daggerfall, when they had decided these were apparently chapters.
Okay, here's what I'll say about Daggerfall. The box is rad as hell. Like, this is a really cool box. It's holographic. If you're a 90s kid, you gonna like it. It's cool. It's shiny. This game was the only moment in our relationship where I genuinely questioned your sanity. This game is buggy, it's broken, and it's terrible. And you had it crash on you, corrupt on you, like all kinds of terrible things kept happening. And you kept playing it. He kept playing it, and he kept being like, I'm not going to play Daggerfall anymore. It's too broken. It's too broken. And then he'd go back to it and like restart it because his whole save file was corrupted. And I'm like, why are you a literal, would you be a sadist then or a masochist? It's a masochist. Masochist, yeah.
That was, yes, I had to restart it 4 times. The game is broken beyond all utter and complete repair. I downloaded it off the Bethesda website, the free version. Then I used the disc-based version. Then I used the disc-based version with the patch. And then I used the Steam version. I had used 4 different versions of this game. And on the 4th try, getting like 3/4 of the way through the game, I finally managed to beat it without anything breaking or corrupting on me enough to where it was completely and totally unplayable. And the part that really got to Avery is that just like with Arena, that wasn't the first time I had beat the game.
You'd already played it once. You'd already beaten it once. Why did you have to do it again? And then complain to me for literal weeks because the thing kept corrupting on you. I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay. It's cool if you're into BDSM. You do understand it has to be safe, sane, and consensual. I don't care if you're a masochist. It has to be sane.
And Bethesda definitely did not care about my consent in this case.
No. Nor did you care about my consent when you bitched about it for 2 weeks.
Oh man, it was literally like for a month straight, every at least once a week, I'd be like, I'm done playing Daggerfall. I'm done with this game. I'm done with this horrible game. It's over. I'm never gonna play it again. It's BS. And then about 6 hours later, I'd be like, I'm restarting. I gotta finish this thing.
I've never even played Daggerfall, and I hate it. I hate it. It is the only game that you've ever played. You've played all of the GTAs. He's played a lot of really like hard, frustrating games. This is the only game where I was like, I can't be around you while you're playing this because you're literally just torturing yourself. On the plus side, what are some good things about it? Because I think we've literally just spent like 10 minutes on it. So
It is absolutely the most horrible, broken game that I've ever played in my entire life. And I'm assuming, because it's so broken, I'm assuming it depends on your computer, how well it works. I have also played this game on like 4 different computers. And actually, while I was switching between the different versions that I was mentioning, I was going between 2 different computers as well. So, you know, anyway, it's not like I didn't put in my due diligence. The reason why I kept trying, first of all, one thing I'd like to say is that the first time I beat it, I made a character who cannot use magic whatsoever. And I'd like to say that this game is old in a certain kind of way where it is almost physically impossible to beat the game if you cannot use magic. And they allow you to create a character who cannot use magic at all. Like,
wonderful.
Yes, what you would have to do, there is basically a point where you have to levitate in the final dungeon. So even if you are a magic user, you could get into the final dungeon, which you cannot exit, and not have a levitation spell.
You're just screwed.
You're just done. You're just done. I actually had to use a cheat. There's like some kind of shift F12 type of thing that brings you back to the beginning of the dungeon that I had to use, and luckily that's where I needed to go so that I could beat the game the first time. But yeah, if you can't use magic at all, you need to like join a specific guild and then get to like the top of the rank with that guild and then talk to a certain guy who, like, because it's super hard to get potions in the game and get a levitation potion. You're looking like you're just about to end your life just listening to me talking about this.
Let's talk positive, because I've heard you bitch about this game a lot. What did you like about it?
So what I absolutely love about Daggerfall is that it is incredibly dedicated to its own sense of realism. If you know anything about this game, you know that the map is like millions of square miles. I think it's multiple millions of square miles. And so you have to fast travel everywhere, but they do that to kind of give you the sense of scale of the game, which again doesn't really work since you have to fast travel everywhere. But the game is actually that big, and there are just, I don't know, there are just believable rules in the world. You can go to a bank and take out loans, and you can deposit money into the bank, and you know, houses aren't like 20,000 gold to like 1,000 gold like they are in other Elder Scrolls games. They're like 300,000 gold. You can buy a ship and like sail places on your own ship. You can buy a horse and cart to store more stuff. That's all inventory management type of stuff. There's a really detailed reputation system that only breaks like 89% of the time. So there is a chance it'll work. And so you like do missions for people and you gain reputation. And if you don't do missions for them, their reputation will slowly go back down to neutral. And if you like decline to do a mission for them for whatever reason, then it will obviously drop significantly. And there's thousands of different towns, and there's thousands of different dungeons, and millions of people populate the world. And so you do actually get that sense of scale, and there's reputations for every single region. And so it's just incredibly detailed in that way, that it's engaging. It's really engaging. It is actually genuinely fun to play. I like the game for some reason. Like, the main city, you've all played Skyrim. I know you have. You know how that city, like, when you really think about it, in your brain it's a city, and you use your imagination to make it seem like a city, but it's 10 buildings and 12 people live there. In Daggerfall, the main city in this game, there are 75,000 NPCs that live there, and the city has buildings to scale for that. And every major city is like that.
I think you only like this game for the same reason that you like your Elder Scrolls time ratios.
We are not talking about that yet. That's its own video.
I know, but I wanted to drop an Easter egg. Nathan's a big nerd.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm a hardcore Elder Scrolls junkie, and I will absolutely torture myself to get as much Elder Scrolls experience as I can. You can't trust me when I say an Elder Scrolls game is good.
No.
But you can trust me when I say an Elder Scrolls game is bad.
Yeah. This is true.
I mean, maybe you can't, because pretty much all of them are. None of them are, like, really excellent, to be completely honest.
True.
Yeah. Like, some of them are good at what they want to do, and that's the most compliment that you can give them.
Yeah, I mean, Elder Scrolls in general is an enjoyable series. I wouldn't call it fantastic. But.
Yeah. Because, and the reason for that, this might be entirely its own video. I'm not going to get on a huge tangent here. Here's my theory.
So he says. Of
why the Elder Scrolls games are really actually bad is because the reason people like Elder Scrolls games is not for the same reasons that the developers wanted to make the game.
Yeah.
Like people like Skyrim because they can explore and make their own character and like create their own stories and all of that. And Todd Howard wanted to create a first-person looter shooter. Like, he basically just wanted to create Borderlands, but with swords.
Well, we'll save my feelings on Skyrim for when we get there. So, onward, right. We will be talking about Oblivion.
No, we won't.
What? No, you have more to say about Daggerfall?
No, but Oblivion's not the next one.
Oh, is it Battlespire?
No.
Or Redguard?
We're definitely not doing either of those.
What's next? What am I missing? No, Morrowind. Sorry.
Yay! You got it.
My brain complete. Okay, hold on.
She does know these things.
Yes. Next, onward, we will be talking about Morrowind.
All right. So Morrowind is a bad game, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
That's the whole thing. that's the whole thing.
What are your opinions of Morrowind?
The Argonians look stupid.
I love their legs.
I do love their legs.
The legs of the Argonians and the Khajiits.
Yeah. They do look kind of dumb though, but that's just bad graphics. If you are going to play Morrowind, I would recommend either play it on a high-end PC where you can up the resolution a lot, or play it on the Xbox One. It is backwards compatible, so you can buy the original Xbox version and play it on Xbox One, and it'll look pretty good. My thoughts on Morrowind is that I played it for like 20 minutes when I was 10 years old, and I remember being a dark elf, and that's pretty much about it. So, yeah, I have very detailed and deep opinions on Morrowind.
Yeah, I do really want to make an entire detailed video on Morrowind, tanking the entirety of my YouTube career by talking about how utter garbage it is. Because when I said the reason why people love the Elder Scrolls is not the reason why they're made, I think that Morrowind is the greatest possible example for that. Absolutely every single thing in the entire game is broken in the worst possible way. It does have an incredible amount of charm, and I did really, really enjoy myself. But the leveling is broken, and the world visually is utterly amazing, and lore-wise is utterly amazing. But the way that they designed the world so that the way that you interact with it in the game is trash, and the leveling is designed like trash, and also the lore is the main thing that people talk about with Morrowind, that the lore was utterly amazing. The only reason that everybody knows so much about the lore is that the main story is like 90% reading books. They just force you to read books for like half of the entire main story. There's very little of a plot. Almost every single main mission is, hey, walk all the way across the map and read this book, and it'll tell you what to do next by talking about ancient history.
Mm.
Doesn't that sound fantastic?
It doesn't sound that different from Skyrim.
Fair. Except they didn't actually ask you to read the books, because you just open the book and then a map marker would be like, hey, this is exactly where you need to go.
Yep. So, no, Morrowind does have giant mushrooms though.
Yes.
And I'm like pretty here for that. I think those are cool.
The visual style is great.
Visual style, the art is actually really cool, even though the Argonians look kind of stupid. But that's just because
But they actually have
like the legs.
What are they?
I don't know what to call them. They don't look like.
They're not human legs. Like in Oblivion and Skyrim and Elder Scrolls Online, they're human legs. But in Morrowind, the Khajiit and the Argonians have
Like a doggy leg.
like a cat leg where it goes backwards.
Yeah. But the art style, ooh, that was so important.
Scientifically accurate. We know our terminology.
Oh yeah. But the art style is pretty good. I actually really like the music from Morrowind, because Nathan makes me listen to Elder Scrolls music in the car sometimes.
Make is a very strong word. I ask her very gently because I do not want to force her to listen to my nerdy video game music, and she says yes.
I do like the lore behind Morrowind probably the best. And that was, I know that we started off when we were in ESO in Morrowind.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like that environment a lot. I do like the backstory behind it a lot. So I can at least say that I think Morrowind as a place, much more interesting than Skyrim.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, Skyrim is just knockoff Game of Thrones and Oblivion is just knockoff Middle Earth.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
All right.
I probably have the least hard opinions about Morrowind because it's like you haven't played that one to death in front of me.
No, because it's bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't played it.
I'm literally
I
just
haven't
trying to
played it.
run all of our subscribers off by death glaring them
bad.
Morrowind a trash game.
Okay.
Icebreakers.
Icebreakers. Okay. Those commercials for icebreakers, the little cubes,
I got you.
really fucking weird.
Are they?
They have
cubes?
cube ones, and then they have the.
I've only
round
ever had
ones.
the circle ones.
I like those. I don't buy those often enough. Anyway, up next is Oblivion, the game I've heard about a lot. I've never played Oblivion. I do want to though because it's this one's favorite.
It is actually my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
I recently admitted that to myself. I went to Elder Scrolls Anonymous and talked through a lot
That
of...
should be a real thing.
Yeah, and I finally come to the acceptance stage and realized that Oblivion is my favorite game of all time. I'm not proud of that fact, but...
Done with bartering, with denial, depression, anger. It came to acceptance.
I still barter in the game, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. It's a really important skill. I'm kidding. The money's worthless.
Okay, here's my opinion. Best thing about Oblivion is the absolutely ridiculous voice acting.
That is, I agree 100%.
It's so stupid. What's that line?
Oh God, I want to find a video of it. I wonder how long that would take to...
Just do it.
Okay. Yeah, so the best line in the entire game is right in the beginning, so you can find it fairly quickly. It's when you go to the city of Kvatch, and while you're running up to the city, she really wants me to do it. I don't want to do the voice, but she's making me do this. You're running up to the city, and this high elf runs up to you and is telling you about how Daedra overrun the city and are going to kill everybody, and he's being incredibly dramatic about it, and before he runs away screaming... He's like, run for your lives! We're all going to die!
It's my favorite thing ever.
It's about on that level. Like, that's genuinely where it is.
Yeah, Nathan started up Oblivion, and just to show me that line in it, he didn't even want to find a video. He's like, no, I'm going to start the game and show you this line, like, in gameplay, because you need to know.
Yeah. It's the best line of voice acting in any game ever, and almost every single character in Oblivion reaches that. They just all take it straight to 11, which is why Oblivion is objectively better than Skyrim, because everybody in Skyrim sounds like they're so incredibly bored, and everybody in Oblivion is on crack cocaine.
And I'd rather them be on crack cocaine than, I was trying to be witty. I was like, what's a drug that makes you sound depressed? Heroin?
Muscle relaxants.
Heroin?
Yeah, presumably heroin.
Yeah.
Anyway, Oblivion has more vibrant colors. It's got better voice acting.
Much more vibrant colors than both Morrowind and Skyrim.
That's because they took the bloom up to 11 as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's got one of the best DLCs of any game of all time. That's just almost universally recognized as that. Is that the Shivering Isles is one of the best DLCs of all time.
Haven't played it.
That's the one with Sheogorath.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
More craziness. There, the voice acting actually makes sense, and the entire rest of the game, it's just
A
totally
lot.
bonkers.
Oh, but it's so good.
It is. It is so good. It's also got the best missions. Like, that is something. The voice acting, I think, is hilarious, and that's part of the reason why I love the game. But everybody genuinely admits it does have the best missions out of any Elder Scrolls game. So
It also has fantastic music. Oblivion, I would say, out of all of them, probably has the best.
I've been trying to find people to agree with me on that. Nobody seems to have a really strong opinion one way or another. I think Oblivion definitely has the best music of any Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls, because if we're talking about mods, ooh, Enderal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the music's so good.
Yeah.
But Oblivion has the best out of any actual Bethesda Elder Scrolls game. It's really good. I have listened to many, many, many hours of Elder Scrolls music. Oblivion's the best in my opinion.
Mhm.
And Oblivion's main theme, I think, is the best out of all of the main themes. That's my personal opinion.
That would be a hard thing to convince most people
I know.
of, because the Skyrim
I know.
music is like immediately recognizable from the first. Yeah, I don't even know if I'd personally agree with that.
I think it's the best.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. They might
He's
be,
saying I'm wrong.
they might be about even,
Yeah.
but Oblivion's music in general is absolutely better. And that is possibly because actually the person who creates the Elder Scrolls music from Oblivion to Skyrim, Jeremy Soule, he got in a near-death car crash prior to working on the music for Oblivion, and he said that he basically put all of his fear of death and his love of life and all of the beauty that he saw in the world after having this near-death experience into the music for Oblivion, which is why it's utterly fantastic and the best Elder Scrolls music.
And Oblivion, I think, visually has aged extremely well because they went with, we have talked about this a
Mhm.
lot. They went with a little bit, whether intentional or no, a more kind of animated look to the characters. I think the characters' faces and their animations and everything are a lot more lively than in Skyrim too. And it might just be because it's a more colorful game in general, but this world, just from watching him play, because God, how many times have you restarted Oblivion since I've known you?
I probably play it all the way through once a year.
Yeah, but I would say Oblivion as a world feels a lot more lively than any of the other Elder Scrolls.
Absolutely. And what I usually say, and people genuinely agree when they played Oblivion and they think about this, is that when you play Oblivion, you feel like you are a citizen of that country.
Yeah.
You feel like you are a person who has lived in that world their entire life, whereas in Skyrim you feel like a tourist. Now, the really easy example for why that is because that's literally the plot for your character for both of those games.
Yeah.
You are actually like emigrating to Skyrim at the beginning of that game, and in Oblivion you presumably have lived there your entire life. I mean, you're in a prison in the middle of the country, so maybe not, but yeah. So, no, Oblivion's fantastic. And that's an interesting point. I actually hadn't thought about that Oblivion might age better than Skyrim. Because it's 9 years old. And yeah, we have the special edition, but if you play like the basic edition of Skyrim, does the special edition really look that much better with the people's faces and stuff?
No, not with the faces. It mainly makes the environment look a lot better.
Yeah, and Oblivion looked absolutely amazing when it came out, whereas Skyrim didn't. I heard some like hardcore Elder Scrolls people trying to tell me that Skyrim looked fantastic.
I mean, the environments I liked a lot in Skyrim, but it still was aged by the time it came out. It was
Oh, yeah.
dated by the time it came out.
Oh yeah, it came out the same year as God, did it come out like
Dragon Age 2.
Dragon Age 2 like a year before Mass Effect 3? Like it doesn't Uncharted looks better than Skyrim in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Like any Uncharted. Skyrim does not look good.
No.
Skyrim is not a good looking game. Whereas Oblivion, I remember when that came out hilariously. My brother's playing it on his Xbox 360. And like my mom and dad are sitting around watching him play the game. They're like, oh my God, it looks so real. It genuinely looks like real life.
Oh my God.
And now people play it and they genuinely think it's supposed to look animated.
Yeah. Oh, how the tides have changed. On to my favorite game of all time. If you couldn't tell the sarcasm, it's
Enderall.
it's Skyrim. I will start this off saying that I bought Skyrim when it came out. I never beat it back in 2011. It came out for the Switch. I'm a huge Nintendo person. Hello. And I ended up playing it through the whole way on Switch. It was fine. I don't understand the hype behind Skyrim. It was fun. I get why people like these games, but I feel like if Skyrim was made by pretty much any other developer, it would probably be a much better game. It was just very buggy. I felt the story was extremely lacking. The environments were devoid of color. The combat wasn't engaging. The looting, you can't even sell things to anybody because nobody has that much money. But yet, for some reason, I had a semi-decent time playing it, and I don't really understand why.
It's very weird. It's addicting like a mobile game. It's basically just a glorified Candy Crush because that's the way that Todd Howard designs his games.
Yeah. I mean,
we're never getting a review copy of anything from Bethesda.
No, I had a good time with Skyrim. I just have a lot of issues with it. I don't really know why I liked it. That's the thing I don't understand. But I have a lot of problems with it. It was a fun game. I get why people are like up Skyrim's butt, but
yeah, I thought I would have genuinely significantly more to say about Skyrim, a game that I've played like at least 1,000 hours of.
Right.
And I've played much more than that of Oblivion.
Yeah.
But what really is there to say about Skyrim? Your point's more interesting because you weren't part of like the hype train or anything like that. But yeah, no, I've been playing Skyrim since launch. I have a lot of fun with the game, even though it's really not that good.
I would say Skyrim is fun because it's just kind of a comforting, like, junk food type game where you go in, you get to collect your loot, you get to go through dungeons, you get to explore, and you don't have to be terribly invested in it. It's not, like, a horrifically hard game. The story's not, like, terribly engaging, so honestly, you can just go screw around for, like, 4 hours if you want to.
You can literally play it with your eyes closed. It's just not...
I mean,
it asks absolutely nothing of you.
No. And I've met many people that never even finished the main campaign and just screwed around and went and did random side missions. I think the main reason people like Skyrim is the same reason people like Minecraft. You can just kind of go. Though Skyrim, obviously, it being like, oh, there's like fighting involved. But I'm just saying, it's one of those experiences that I think people keep coming back to because there's a lot of content to it. That much I can say. I mean, not good content, but there's a lot of quests you can do.
There is probably a solid 200 hours worth of content, honestly, which is impressive. But I would like to move on to talk about the very best part of Skyrim that I referenced earlier. And it's Enderall.
True.
Enderall is 100% the best part of Skyrim.
Yeah.
Enderall is a total conversion mod for Skyrim, which means that it's made in Skyrim's engine, but is a 100% completely different game. It's got some of the same assets and some of the same, general controls, whatever, but basically imagine that Bethesda made a new IP it's a completely different game, and it has extremely memorable characters, a very detailed world, an incredibly gripping story, and it just takes you in from like the first second, and it just demands your respect with all of its heady philosophical nonsense. It's basically nothing like this game whatsoever. It's very, very good.
Best part of Enderall, though, is that song you showed me that I never remember the name of.
Winter Sky.
It's incredible. If I remember, you said that it was sung in an inn?
Yeah,
Maybe?
it's one of the in songs that you can request people play. So if you didn't pick up on the idea that it's a mod, you can get this for free. If you own the basic version of Skyrim on PC, you can download this for free. If you own Skyrim on Steam, you can download this on Steam for free. It's on Steam, and it is one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I have my top 10 list. Skyrim is not in it. Enderall is. And Oblivion's number 1.
Yeah. But that song is incredible. I think that song is the pinnacle of, maybe not the pinnacle, but it describes the storytelling in this game extremely well.
It'll give you the essence of what Enderall is like.
Yep.
And it is a lot of tears.
Very sad. But
We'll link it down in the description.
down in the doobly-doo.
The doobly-doo.
You did miss the actual best thing about Skyrim.
What's that?
Uthgerd. Uthgerd is my butch lesbian wife, and I love her so much. She's my favorite. That's it.
So if you want to meet Avery's lesbian wife in Skyrim, you just have to go into Whiterun, go into the Bee and Barb Inn. No, it's not the Bee and Barb. That's in. It's the Winking Skeever. Go into the Winking Skeever in Whiterun, and there will be a lady in the back who you can brawl for $100 and then take her on quests with you. Just remember, though, when you're questing with her, she is taken.
Yes.
She is Avery's.
Yes. But you fight her for her love. I swoon. The love of my virtual life. Virtual.
We could have started dating a lot earlier if I had known that.
Yeah. Onward to, honestly, probably my favorite Elder Scrolls game. And that is Elder Scrolls Online. ESO, as it is colloquially called. I don't know.
By all the youngins.
The youngins. I'm hip with the kids. I love ESO. I'm not really an MMO person, but it's really fun if you play with like a significant other, a close friend of yours. It's a really good time. My main character in ESO is Risa. She's a dark elf. I love all of the little pets. I love, like, one of the first quests that we did, spoilers, one of the first quests that we did was for this old man, and you were collecting memories so his kids could, like, understand why he'd been absent, like, their whole life, and it was really sad and dark. And there's a rat with a backpack. He was limited edition, but I got him, so...
Yeah, that's basically Avery played a lot of the very best missions in the entirety of ESO, so I think it's very much justified why it is your favorite one. ESO is an unbelievably trash game, but, you know,
It's my favorite trash!
Yeah, I mean, it's debatably better than Oblivion, so...
Plus, there's guars. And who doesn't love guars? They're so cute.
She thought that guars were very ugly.
Yes, until I saw them in the Morrowind add-on for ESO, and I realized you could ride them, and they're just so cute, and they got their little leggies and their little hands.
We actually
have a guar.
Have a guar. and a netch.
The netch. No, I like ESO because you get to kind of make your own fun. I would say it's similar to Skyrim in the fact that, like, I wouldn't say it's the best game ever. I wouldn't say that it's incredibly well made, but it's so much fun to play with someone that But it's so much fun. But it is incredibly fun to play with someone that you're close to. If you have a friend to play ESO with, you're easily going to get your money out of it. Best part of ESO is that, if I remember correctly, the base game very often goes on sale for about $10. And when you buy the base game, if you do end up going with a subscription, which you don't need if you are playing on PC, you do end up being able to play all the add-ons previous to the most current add-on.
Yes. So, and you don't need a subscription on console either. You just need to pay for PlayStation Plus or whatever Xbox does.
Xbox Live.
We're super into
Online gaming. Yeah.
But yeah, you don't need a subscription, but if you get a subscription, it's probably worth playing for if you're kind of like going through the game really quickly, because you do get all of the add-on content up to the most recent one for free, and then when the next add-on comes out, you get that one for free as well. So, yeah.
It's a good time. I really like ESO.
It's,
We need to get back to playing it. Also, you tell Nathan that he cannot delete... What's his name? Scarroth? Reese's boyfriend.
I'm keeping this in.
You named him something. It's Firefoot.
Skullrum Firefoot?
Yes.
It was a name generator.
Yes. He can't delete Skullrum Firefoot because he's Risa's boyfriend. They can't be separated. He wants to go back when we eventually get through more of ESO and play with a different character of his, and I feel like that is just unfair to Risa, so.
I've only spent 350 hours building that other character, so
Him.
I like him better.
No.
We'll see what happens.
Skullrum's the best.
Who knows what the storyline will bring about.
Nothing happens to him. Or something will happen to you.
But really, if you're debating playing ESO, I know we've mostly talked it up here. It genuinely is pretty garbage. It's very fun if you are playing it the way it wants to be played.
Mm-hmm.
It is nothing like an Elder Scrolls game in that way.
No.
Because most Elder Scrolls games are like, yeah, you can play it however you want and still have fun. No, if you are not into either role-playing and questing, and not choice-based questing, just hey, pretending your character is XYZ person, and then role-playing out quests, or doing the meta build MMO grind. If you're not into either of those two things, you will not enjoy Elder Scrolls Online at all.
Correct.
So,
but if you're a big Elder Scrolls...
Elder Scrolls.
Elder Squirrels?
I'd play that.
Yeah. If you're a big Elder Scrolls lore fan, it's going to be a pretty good game for you. It has a lot of lore in it. Or if you just really like cute stuff and you like playing a game with your husband, it's a good game too.
That's true. That's true. Good God, how do we end this thing?
So, Elder Scrolls. Is it good? Mostly not. Do people love it? Yes, they do.
Including us.
Yeah.
Do not listen, I would play Morrowind again any day of the week. I know I trashed all over it, but honestly, I would restart it at any time. I would just rather restart, Daggerfall or Arena, because they're better games.
I think the ultimate thing about Elder Scrolls is that it's garbage that we love. Like so many other things. Let's be honest.
It's incredibly versatile garbage.
Yeah. Well, and it's, this isn't going to be another hot take. It's like Marvel movies. Marvel movies kind of suck, but I love them so much. And that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to love them too. We all love some trash. Sometimes you need fun trash. So, the Elder Scrolls. Ultimately, pretty garbage, but we like it.
The end.
The end. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to see more, we do have our previous video linked here. And if you want to see our upcoming content, you can subscribe, click the bell, check out all of our social media links down in the description below. See ya.